What is up, Total Excellence dudes? Thank you all for coming to the live stream. As always, dudes, we're always going to be here talking about just, coloring and just chilling out. I got my best guest tonight, which is Tyrell, a returning guest, I should say. And, I would say like Tyrell's the one who gave birth to this, just to like talking while I'm coloring, just to make things more interesting and on brand what I've been doing for the past, I think, close to 3 years now. So, dudes, I've been following Tyrell since like Beef Bros. Okay. So I've been following his journey. Got my Beef Bros, the first print, I should say. Beautiful. Got Ajax and what is it? Dewey. There's Inktober of Doom, which is amazing. That is like my personal favorite. We got Game Over Man, which is another Inktober about aliens. And of course, this is the one I've waited for so long. This bad boy right here. It was like, what year are we on? 2022? 2021 sketch. I mean, it's like amazing stuff, guys. You can check out on Tyrell's website and you can purchase them whether you want it on digital or physical, and you even get them signed as well. I mean, you cannot ask for a better deal like that, So before I do, guys, I mean, Tyrell, he was kind enough to join in, and we're going to be talking shop about the Schlub, and I think it's like the most funniest name I could ever encounter, especially for a comic book. So, enough of my yabbering. Let me actually just bring on my guest right now, What is up, Tyrell?
Howdy, how's it going?
Good, and you, pal?
Can't complain, It's another day, another dollar, right?
Yeah, right? Exactly. You're living the dream, man.
I'm trying.
Working on the Schlub as we are talking?
Well, I am a little bit, but I'm letting something kind of simmer on this page, and I'm sketching on an X-Men drawing right now. But I can't show the page because it is probably the most spoiler page in the whole series.
No.
Because it's issue 6 towards the end. So I won't be showing that, but I might scribble away at both of those things tonight.
Okay.
I see you've got issue 2 up there on the screen. That looks cool.
Yeah, of course, man. I feel like it's the perfect month, too, since it's October. And WYRM, I mean, this is such a cool villain, man. I remember when I was watching you with one of your live streams that, like, I think the most simple character that you were able to, like, conceptualize on the dot was this character.
Yeah, he came out pretty easy. I feel like when I was looking at the character descriptions, I was like, yeah, I get this guy. I know what he's about, and knocked him out in one pass. So he's my favorite to draw too. He's a lot of fun to draw. He's got a lot of cool little, costume things, and then I like the kind of thin, wiry body. It's kind of a nice switch from all the beefier guys that I have in the comics. So pretty fun stuff.
Yeah, no, that's so cool, dude. And how did you get out into this project, man? I'm very curious.
Well, I am, I through mutual friends became friends with Ryan Stegman and Kenny Porter, and we talk to each other pretty often. There's a group of artists I sort of keep in touch with. We kind of help each other with critiques and things like that.
Yeah.
And Ryan is one of those guys, and he was he had told me that he had sold, not sold, I guess, but gotten something kind of greenlit at Image.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't really have the time to draw it, and that was the Schlub. So he had originally pitched it with him drawing it. But he ended up getting tied up doing a lot of stuff, over at Marvel, because that was around the time that Venom started coming out. And so it kind of sat. And he's like, well, I still want to do this. So he brought Kenny and me on to sort of help him make it happen, since he didn't think he would have the time to do it. And we were saying, hey, that sounds like fun to us. Let's do it, man. So after he brought us on board, we both were able to contribute a lot. Like he hadn't written any issues. He hadn't drawn any characters. It just sort of was like at a pitch phase. And so we were able to completely kind of flesh it out from there and add some of our ideas and really make it a collaborative piece. So I got invited because Ryan knew me and he liked my work. And so I said, sure, let's do it. and the rest is history.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. I mean, honestly, like Ryan has a more cartoony style too, and just the mere fact that he commissioned you to work on as well. And I mean, honestly, I honestly could not think of another artist that could work on this. You know, I mean, it's just perfect. Honestly, dude, I just love your art style. Like,
Oh,
you
thanks, man.
could honestly could convert it into animation because all of like I even saw like was it your Wolverine? Like everything is rounded. So just the
Yeah,
mere fact of it, like even if you could like commission an animator just to do like one of those stilled animations, so that all he needs to do is just maybe just shrug his shoulders and move his head and just add like a smoke like he's breathing out and
that could be cool, man. That could be cool.
But yeah, man, I mean, that's just so awesome. I really enjoy reading the first issue. I'm like reading the second issue, trying to catch on. But like second issue, man, I mean, you get like a good ounce of like, where are these characters, what are their hideouts, and like basically like Cyrus's hideout, Worm's, hideout, and then Roger's life behind the scenes, of his real life. And, like Roger is such a funny dude. He's just an average looking dude, and he just has the worst luck in life. It's like out of all occupations, he has to be a dentist, and it's like something that he hasn't chose. Like it's just a family business, basically.
Yeah, I'm really happy that the second issue's out now because the first issue is a lot of fun, but it's really just a springboard into all the cool stuff we can do with the characters now that they've sort of been swapped into these new bodies and have to deal with all that. You start to really learn what they're made of when they have to deal with these problems that they're having. And so I think that, the first issue is great and it's a lot of fun, but all the really cool stuff starts happening after that. So
Yeah, man. I mean, I really like the mere idea of, I don't know. I haven't seen such an idea where like a character is being swapped by another dude, and then he has to try to control another character's like abilities at the same time. It's like, I don't know. To me, it's just mind-boggling, and the mere fact how he's trying to break it down just to like have Roger just try to understand Cyrus's like abilities on one go, and then fighting Worm at the same time.
Yeah, it's fun to see sort of Kenny and Ryan both just had a really fun time sort of figuring out like, all right, like what would it be like, like what he's not going to be good at it right away, and so it's kind of fun because you get sort of the same feeling you'll get from an origin story of a hero learning their powers, but through the eyes of this sort of guy who's maybe not good at making good decisions, and maybe has a bad attitude and a bad outlook on life. And he's not evil. He's just kind of got a chip on his shoulder and he just does the wrong thing a lot of the time. And so it's kind of fun to see it through that lens because I feel like superheroes have been just deconstructed a lot of times throughout comics history, but usually it's to make them seem like jerks, And Roger is not really, I wouldn't say he's nice, but I wouldn't say he's evil. He's not really a jerk. He's just kind of, he's just like, he makes bad decisions. He makes bad decisions. We all know people like that. Some of us are people like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I like that you brought that up because I think because of the whole superhero deconstruction, and we can thank Alan Moore and Frank Miller for that, because now they basically started the whole dark age. I think that's what the era was back then in the 90s, and they're like, oh no, they weren't too happy, but it is how pop culture was back then. And I think thanks to them, I mean, we wouldn't have Image Comics, and without Image Comics we wouldn't have this awesome piece right here that we're working on. And I don't know. I really like it. It's just not even a deconstruction of like a superhero, we can say. It's just a deconstruction of like the human mind and like what I don't know. It's just a great concept. I mean, it's like somebody like Roger is like, you could look at like his decision making. You could see like, he's not the most healthiest dude you can see right away. And like how he perceive life, he doesn't see it as a positive. He always sees it as a negative. And
Yeah.
he has a failed marriage, like everything. And then you got Cyrus and Worm just destroying his office, and then destroying this poor old lady's teeth in the long run while he's on the phone. I'm like, my gosh, dude. I mean, it's just pure comedy gold. And just Cyrus, like everyone, I love his character design. I love the suit too. I'm just so happy it's not like, like maybe like a Superman's kind of like suit or something golden age or whatnot, but it's just like a Roman, like kind of like that, like a Roman type of like toga, designed to him. And it's just somebody like him just comes out of the blue and this weird artifact that just have them swap. Is like you're not only swapping bodies, you're just swapping like two people with two different backgrounds and different mindsets on how they perceive the world. And now you got someone like Roger that now has this amazing physique with superpowers, and you got to put your trust and faith into him, trying to figure out how the heck is this, Cyrus is going to get his body back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great kind of setup for just action, drama, and comedy, and Kenny and Ryan, I think, they have a good sense of timing and a good sense of just sort of how to keep the pace up, but still tell you a lot about the characters. And they're really fun to work with. And it's been, it's like every time I get a script, something cool is happening in it. And I'm always trying to do the script justice with some cool images, because sometimes they write some stuff and I'm like, oh man, they must just be messing with me. They think I can pull this off, like this is crazy. And it's always like a challenge, but a challenge I'm very excited about,
Right. Yeah, no, man. I like the Easter eggs too that you would bring up in your live streams, man. I mean, I'm so happy that you're even creating content for like YouTube and doing like art live streams, because I get to like see how your process is, how you approach it, and even like how fast you are whenever it comes to like the inking phase. Like I would just see like your art that's full of chicken scratches, but somehow how to like understand your own language. It's kind of like, I don't know, you and oh my god, Daniel Warren Johnson. Like it was same thing with DWJ. Like his is like full of like rough sketches, but once you two are on the inking phase, it's like you guys just know what to do, and you just do it so fast too. I'm like, my gosh, man, just how?
It's fun, I mean, the hard part, I think, it's something I struggle with still, honestly, and that's like trying to keep the energy up is really hard, because it is such a labor-intensive thing to draw comics, and it's really easy to just start to stiffen up and to feel, you kind of kill the work sometimes. It's easy to overwork things, and then they sort of lose that magic. And so one thing I'm usually trying to do is striving to keep that energy. And so I try to keep my pencils fairly, like I don't get them super tight if I'm inking myself, which is pretty much all the time. And I like to kind of, go in with a nice big fat brush first and just kind of knock in all the important stuff, and then sort of go from there. And so it's,
Right.
It's hard though, man, because it, and I think a lot of artists struggle with it. I mean, I know I have, and it's like this idea of like, how do I make this look good, but not make it look dead, like totally devoid of special energy so yeah, I don't know. I'm trying, so I'm glad some of that's coming across, because that's a big thing I've been trying to work on with my work over the last few years.
Right.
Welcome to my neighborhood.
Yeah, right. No, I don't blame you, man. I have like a train track nearby, so if you hear a choo choo, it's my neighborhood too. But yeah, no, dude. I mean, I really enjoy the Schlub. I'm just so happy that you even have, just to see your work on a comic book stand, it's like, it just gives you like brownie points. And I just hope that I'm going to see, I hope to see your own work, whether it be Image or any publisher, that you get to be on the comic book stands or even more.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I would love to keep going and hopefully get some opportunities to do even more published work. But it's been really exciting for me, growing up, reading comics, to finally have my stuff in shops. I've had my stuff in shops that I've made my own, but it's on a much smaller scale. And to
Right.
sort of have that big image logo on my work was always a sort of a bucket list thing for me. So it feels really fantastic, and I've really appreciated all the support I've gotten from people. And it's been a long road to here, and I hope that I can deliver something that is worthwhile for people to read and enjoy. And that's sort of my goal, is to just make something that feels as special to other people as it does to me when I'm making it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely, man. I mean, again, dude, I'm just so happy because I've been following your work since Beef Bros, which was like, I think it was 2018, I believe, when Beef Bros were first brought up on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing your work and like Aubrey's like writing was just a good mesh. And of course the colors too. My God, man, the colors were like a whole new other level.
Yeah.
And just seeing like how your sequentials and like the sequentials, the writing, it's just so nice and tight and solid that I'm like, my gosh, dude, it's like I hope I'm gonna see this dude like on comic book scans, because like I could honestly see your work on bigger projects.
I would love that. I would love that. I would love to have some opportunities to work on some of those established characters, just because I think it would be a lot of fun and sort of deliver on a childhood, want. Like we all growing up, if you were reading whatever X-Men or Justice League, whatever your book was, you always had ideas for stories and characters that you wanted to draw. And I mean, doing creator-owned stuff is super great, and I think that's my ultimate passion. But
yeah,
there's something fun about playing with those characters you grew up with, and so it'd be fun someday to do something like that. Hopefully, that opportunity will present itself.
I bet it will, bud. What do you have in mind that you want to, do sequentials for an established character, whether it be Marvel or DC?
I grew up more of a Marvel guy, so
Okay.
probably Marvel's more my sort of initial thinking of who I would want to go with, just because I grew up with the X-Men and I grew up with that kind of stuff, and I feel like so that's what I know the best, So that would be my first choice. But honestly, there's a lot of really cool DC characters too. I think at Marvel it'd probably be X-Men or maybe like maybe Daredevil or something. Those would be fun. At DC, I would love to get my hands on Lobo or the Flash or the New Gods. All those are ones I've always enjoyed. I don't have any specific pitches that I would share publicly, but if I was going to do an X-Men book, I would want it to be something that was maybe slightly more throwback and outside of whatever's going on right now. Nothing wrong with what's going on right now, but I think that the style that I work in would work good with that sort of X-Men blue gold lineups that they had in the 90s. Okay. You still there, pal? Maybe not. Let's see here. Well, we seem to have no host. I will hang out for a minute and see what happens. Oh, there we go. That's better.
Oops, sorry about that.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I don't know. My internet just pooped on the live
Dude.
stream, so that's what happened. My bad, guys.
Okay. We're still here.
Yeah. So back to the question. So which established? I hope you weren't talking by yourself, and then this happened.
That's okay.
What established characters that you wanted to draw, since you were more of a Marvel guy?
Yeah, I mean the X-Men and probably the X-Men and Daredevil are probably the top of my list as far as characters I'd like to really dive into.
Mm-hmm.
For DC, I would say Lobo or Doom Patrol or the Flash, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Flash would be really fun because I like to draw like speed and things like that. I think visually it would be a really fun character to work on.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely could see you draw the Flash in a more stylized look, and I think, honestly, the Flash and Lobo, because I know with Lobo, he you could play around because they always played around with him since like his first Inception, and I've gotten like, what is it? I've gotten like graphic, collections of his stories, and I've always seen his art style of Lobo like always changing around, whether it be more stylized or a little bit more realistic. So with Lobo, like you can play around with them. But yeah, bro. I mean, Lobo is such a fun character. Honestly, with how you draw and your sense of humor of how you put in the panels, especially with the Schlub, I can honestly guarantee your work fits in with that, especially with Flash as well. I know with Flash, man, my brain just turned off on me. With the Flash, I mean, you can honestly play around with them, at least with a Wally character. Is it Wally? There's just so many Flash characters, man.
Yeah, I'm not as big on the lore of the Flash. Like, I don't know as much, but I do like the idea of drawing a speedster. It'd be fun too. Like even in X-Men to draw like Quicksilver or those kind of characters. I've always been really intrigued by.
Mm-hmm. And since you said X-Men, like which X-Men character? Because I know you've been doing a Inktober, your own Inktober for all X-Men cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked your Shatterstar, bro. I was like,
thanks,
wow.
Man.
That was so sick. I mean, I feel like he's such an underutilized character. It's like I remember when Rob Liefeld, I think it was Major X, he brought him back just so he gets one shot at. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think he's just fun to draw. Like visually, he's a really fun character. Again, anytime there's a character that has a lot of just sort of little visual touches you can play with. Like with him, he's got the ponytail and he has the cape and he has the swords and he has the shoulder pads. and he's very acrobatic. So that gives you opportunities to draw a lot of things that accentuate his motion through spaces or accentuate his sort of attitude as a character. And that's always something I feel like is fun when you're drawing characters. And some character designs are better than others for that. I mean, Lobo is the same way. He's got chains and leather, and there's these different textures, and the facial hair and the crazy hair, and that stuff just makes it a lot more fun. Even in a dialogue scene, you can really have a lot of fun with the character and draw some of those little visual flourishes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely, man.
Do you have a favorite character, Marvel or DC?
Well, with DC, I mean, I'm more of a DC guy because I was more exposed to like the TV and stuff before I even knew like comic books.
Oh, okay.
Their first inception was comic books, so I knew them within media of like television and movies. I absolutely love Superman, especially the original Superman movies. It's like, I don't know, to me, like, it was magic. It's the same thing like how not Kevin Eastman, wrong Kevin. Kevin, oh my God. Kevin Smith is like, it's the same thing how Kevin Smith said, and it was perfect. It's like when you watch like Superman, the original one, it's just magical. It's like the magic of cinema because, my God, man, it's so old, and I could not even believe like all the things like the cars and the vehicles, all that stuff. I don't know. To me, it's just magical watching Superman. And he was like a character where, when I was trying to figure out who the heck I was as a kid, I just knew that I want to be like Superman. I just want to do the best I can to make the best decisions. And just to be in a way like, I guess just to, just do my best to be the best as I can be when people need me, and
the best superheroes are the ones that sort of espouse some sort of, care about something bigger than yourself, and Superman definitely exemplifies that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I absolutely love the Bruce Timm's Superman animated series.
Yeah.
Like that to me, oh my God. Like I still to this day have my Superman, Bruce Timm's Superman doll next to me. Because I mean, I just can't let that go. Like to me, he's been through with me from the good and the bad. So it's like, until I have a child of my own, then I can pass it down to him.
Sure.
But until then, man, I mean, I just absolutely love that character. I mean, I grew up with him, and I remember like, I know that for a fact. I know I was exposed with Batman, and before Bruce Timm, I was exposed with what was it? Oh my God, I am terrible with names, especially when it comes to directors. But oh my God, Tim Burton's Batman. That's
yeah.
Oh my God, dude! I don't know how. I don't know how I became a functioning human being when I was watching those movies. I'm like, because everyone thinks that whenever it comes to superhero movies and stuff, it's for kids. But my gosh, man, it's like Tim Burton, man. I just could not believe. I recently found out, maybe even a year ago, that he used to work for Disney, and I'm like, how in the world did a guy like him got into Disney? And then when I see his art and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, it makes total sense now,
Yeah, he's definitely a talented guy. Those Batman movies he did, it's funny. For a little while, I didn't really like them that much, but then sometime in the last maybe 4 years, they just sort of became magical for me again. Like when I was a kid, and I started kind of saying, maybe those are my favorite ones. Like maybe those ones are the best ones because they really capture, some of the visual flourishes that remind me of comics. Like it feels very like the world he's built within the films is very visually stunning and unique in a way that you usually don't see in live action films as much. It doesn't represent that same sort of everything is stylized the way it can be in a comic. Because in a comic, everything is drawn, and so everything has the opportunity to be sort of different and stylized and all those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely, dude. I mean, again, there's just so many things that you can do on a comic book that you can't do on movies, and there's some things that you can do in a movie that you can't do in a comic book. In the movie, like, you're just stuck within, the grasp of how long this film is versus you reading a comic book, and there's no right or wrong way of reading it. You could just read it within under 10 minutes, or you can take your time, enjoy the visuals from the artist, and read it, and you can reread it if you want to get a better grasp at the story, and do what you want to do. You just enjoy the comic book, and you just go to the playground, and then you just tell your friends like what you've read or what you've watched, and then try to reenact what you've watched and read.
Yeah, it's fun to I think comics are a great way for kids to sort of start to think visually and think about stories in a way that isn't tied to time as much. Like you're saying, comics don't have any time limits on them, and there's no time limit on how long it's going to take you to read it, and that's sort of where a lot of the magic comes from, I think, with comics.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. I mean, honestly, dude, I honestly like comic books in the way where you could read a comic book based on a TV or movie that it's either been canceled or that's been canceled, or they finished their season, so there's just no more adventures for these characters that you've grown a part of. And now that I get to read comic books where like, oh, that show that you liked and enjoyed, well, here are some new adventures that that we're still continuing on, like pretty much Boom Studios Power Rangers. I mean, oh my gosh, dude, there is just so much that's going on to that comic book that I can't even like talk to you, because there's just so much things. But I could tell you this: the reason why I even got started reading comic books was because of Boom Studios comics, and I didn't know there was a thing, And I remember like I was talking with Tyler, like the reason why it got me like, and of course it's spoilers, but what got me reading was when I was it was like front page in my phone, and I guess with the algorithm, it's like, oh, Tommy from, what was it, like Boom Studios has killed the most major character in Power Rangers ever, and I'm like, oh shoot, like who it is, and then it's like, oh, they killed off Tommy. I'm like, what? I was blown away. I was like, no freaking way. It's like, it's just I don't know, man. It's just like a rule of thumb, especially when it comes to shows. Like, there's just this one character that you cannot touch, and it's just Tommy freaking Oliver, man. It's like, how could you do this, man? I mean, hell, kids were on a hunger strike when freaking Tommy lost his powers. That's how powerful of an influence his character was.
It's pretty amazing the way these characters can affect us as people, and that's something I definitely don't take lightly. If you're working on these characters, especially an established character or property, I think you shouldn't just do what the fans want, but also you should be respectful to the connections they have to them. But give them something a little more fresh that pushes their understanding of the character a little further. I don't like it if they just kill people for no reason, of course, but like if you can get a good story out of it and sort of expand the mythos, then sure, like go for it. I mean, I haven't read the Power Rangers thing, so I don't know if it was well done or not. But
yeah, no, it's definitely well done, dude. I can tell you that much. They really respect the source material, and I did have a guy on my show who used to work at Boom Studios, and rest in peace for Jason David Frank, but Jason David Frank loved the comic books because, I mean, the reason why he even has his own karate school at the time was because he sold his collection of comic books. So he really loved comic books, and the mere fact that, it just pushes the narrative of the IP. It just, like he would call Boom Studios and say, hey, what's going to happen with my character, Tommy? He got so into it, and all that stuff, and even all the other rangers that I would go to conventions, is like I would ask them like, oh, like you ever read the comic book, or what you think that they're doing with your character and this and that,
Yeah.
So it's just another way for fandom to like get to talk to people that you grew up with, since like these actors used to be like at least 18 or 19 years old, and now they're like in their mid 40s, and you still get to talk about it. Like it's I don't know. Again, it's like what you said before, like like characters and just the IP itself, like branding, I should say better. It's just the mere fact of how powerful branding is when people get so invested in the world and the universe,
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I I'm a fan of some things. I'm not like a fanatic though,
Right.
but I think that that's what you got to sort of, you got to take from it what you can. Like, what's nice is that when you have these established characters, there's the opportunity to potentially dive in deeper, like you were saying. Like, okay, I can read the books about it, or the comics about it, or I can watch the TV show of the comic and see more about it, or a different interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think that's another thing too, is interpretation, because like the old saying, like the book is better than movie. I just feel like the same way whenever it comes to movies interpreting the comic book. It's like, yeah, no, the comic book was better.
That's often the case, but maybe we'll get lucky one of these days and we'll get a great movie that's better than the comic.
Yeah, right. It's rare. It's rare. I think one person says the Shazam movie was very well done. It's very like they really kept the lore and how the character is Captain Marvel. So I heard nothing but positive things about it. And I remember too, like people were complaining about how DC is so serious all the time. And then once the Shazam movie came out, it's like, oh my God, it's like it's everything that they said that they complain about. But now they're complaining about, oh my gosh, they're out of ideas. I'm like, you just can't please anybody, man. But when that movie came out, it was just great. I don't know, man. I just feel like, it is how it is. It's like, however interpretations is settled. Like sometimes the interpretation is not as close, or again, there's limitations with film and comics.
Sure.
Because I was not. I don't know. I'm just so invested with, especially Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, the Turtles are great.
Yeah, no, the Turtles are.
What you think of that new movie? Did you like it?
Which one? Because there's so many turtle movies.
Mutant Mayhem, I think is what it's called.
Mutant Mayhem. Oh yeah, dude, that was so fun. I'm like, holy crap, dude. I was honestly surprised, man. It's like they like Seth Rogen and his team really changed it, but in a positive way. And I feel like even if it did not make, I think they broke even when the film came out, but I know they're going to make more money once the streaming and DVDs come out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they did confirm like they're going to make a sequel of it. So
yeah, I was happy to hear that. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm a casual Turtles fan. When growing up, I was a huge Turtles kid, obviously, but
of course,
I haven't
Turtle Mania
read as many of the newer books.
Mm-hmm.
That would be another fun property to work on. I would love to do like a Bebop and Rocksteady book or something. That would be a blast.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Honestly, man, I honestly want to see you draw a Turtles. At least one of them,
I've done a couple turtle commissions in the past. I'd love to do more. Hopefully someday I'll get another good turtle opportunity.
Do you have like a favorite artist that was working on the Turtles?
Let me think. The OG people were really good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There was that. Who was it? Was it Frank Terran? There was somebody that did like a 4-issue that was so good. And I'm spacing on the name of the guy.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about. I have him next to me. Freddie E. Williams II.
That one's good for sure. I was thinking of an older one, but that one is also good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Campbell stuff. That was pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, Eastman and Laird, obviously, the original stuff is really magical. It's sort of crude in some ways as far as the drawings, but they still evoke so much of the feeling of the world. You know, you feel the sewer, you feel the city streets. You know, they have this kind of very gritty feeling to it, but still being sort of a fun parody of the Daredevil stuff. You know, that stuff is pretty fun and pretty magical.
Yeah, no, they really did, because I mean, again, the art style in like the whole black and white explosion with the turtles. I mean, it was just a good mix because it's like, yeah, like it's it could be like it's crude, but it's not gory, and we can give an exception to literally killing the main like the main villain in the first issue. But other than that, it's just a good mix between like nice and gritty, but not over the edge or adult type of content.
Sure, yeah, definitely not crude in any sort of content way, more in just an execution way.
Exactly, man.
But I like that rawness. I've always been a fan of the sort of raw, self-published look. That's sort of where I cut my teeth, and I feel like you know, I'm always a sucker for that kind of thing. A black and white comic will always suck me in.
Yeah, man. Honestly. Yeah, honestly, dude, I'm in love with black and white comics. Like, even if there's like a special edition, like if you just like one day when the Schlub is completed or whatnot, or you're still continuing on and you guys are gonna make like a special like issues 1 through 5 or 10, you know. I hope that there's one that's in color and then the other one is in black and white. Oh my god. I would definitely would like to see it in inks and just see like how the heck it looks like without in color.
Yeah, that would be fun. I like seeing the process. So, you know, I love seeing the colors, obviously, but like I like seeing how any artist on any book works. You know, for me, that's stuff that I like to buy. I like to get the sort of behind the scenes looks and the process looks and sort of figuring all that out is always really fun. Like, how did he make this and what did this look like without the color on it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's one that I really want in black and white would be Danny Warren Johnson's Do a Power Bomb in black and white. And the people
that is
in
available
France,
in black and white now from France. So
yeah, exactly. In France, we're cheated, man.
Well, you know, it's orderable. You can still get it. It is a bummer we didn't get an English edition, but
right.
At least we live in a world where you can order comics from France if you really want to.
Right. I don't know, man.
You know, 20 years ago, that wouldn't have been an option, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know. If you talk to people who freaking like were trying to find anime, let's say, you know, they just know a guy.
Yep.
It's like with poor take on dubbing it, but or subbing, I should say. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm just glad that we're at, like how you said before, like it's just we're at a time now where like we have access to things so easily.
Yeah.
And it's just within, you know, within just a snap, and that's it.
Yeah, it's great because, you know, I grew up in a time when even getting anime was really hard and getting comics was kind of difficult for me because I lived in a small town. And so just, you know, obviously I live in a big city now, so it's easier. But even if I didn't, I could still find places to buy and read all the comics that I like. And back in the day, that wasn't the case, you know. And so sometimes I get upset about things like, yeah, why don't we have this edition here instead of just in France? But then I'm like, well, at least it's not like it was before, you know, when I couldn't find anything. You know, you had to know a guy, or like, oh, I met this guy at the record store. He said he could get it for me, blah, blah, blah. You know, buy it on eBay from some guy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, man. But yeah, dude. And also too, man, it's like, you know, it's like it's just crazy how quick things can get done. Like what? Like the Turtles Last Ronin is like now it's going to be in a video game, and I'm like, that is just mind blowing because, like, what? It hasn't been a year yet, and they already made confirmations of of a video game, and I don't know if they're going to do a movie. I just heard video game because
Mm-hmm.
I just know for a fact video games are now $1 billion like business now.
Oh yeah,
So
games are big for sure. They have the potential to reach a lot of people. We all love games. I mean, games are fun.
yeah, man. I mean, it's just crazy how it was just two little blocks and one's tiny square to play, and that's your fun, and it's called Pong.
Man, I
Yep.
still get down on some Pong. I love me some Pong.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, I love going to arcades where like there's just so many iterations of Pong now. Is like now there's like a coffee table of Pong. I'm like, what the heck? I am just blown away. Um, but yeah, dude, it's like I don't know. Everything is just so fast. All the freaking time is like, and um, I don't know. Even like adaptations of comic books. Like even though it takes much longer, like I don't know. I just feel like maybe it takes longer because they just want to make sure that I guess not to follow the material, but just to find the right animators and just try to
Sure.
change and shift it as close as the comic, but it's still their own twist to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a process. I mean, I don't think comics are that easy to adapt, really. And I think that it's easy to make a bad comic book movie, you know? And I think that we've had a lot of good ones, but it's a medium that is like I think the problem is a lot of people think that it has a lot of similarities with film, and it does have some, but there's so many things about comics that are almost diametrically opposed to the way film functions. And so I think that sometimes when they're finding that transitional balance, sometimes they think that it's going to be, I don't know if the makers always think it's going to be easier than it is or what, but you really have to change it a lot to make it work. A comic that's great on paper might not be great on screen unless you change a lot of things about it.
True. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I know even animation, like animation has changed so much over the years. When it came just 2D and they just write it on like pencils, and then now it's just CGI. Like they're trying to bring 2D back. Like Disney is doing whatever they can to at least try to bring back all traditional 2D artists that worked within the Disney Renaissance. And there has been successful films where there's a mix between 2D and 3D.
Uh-huh.
I believe there was God, I'm just so awful. And how my brain is thinking is exactly what I need is an ambulance to like look into my noggin because it's just always drifting. But
Yeah.
but pretty much like okay, now I know where I'm going with it. Um, I know there was this one where basically like it's basically like their own origin stories of Santa Claus, and they just
Okay.
did their own twist on it. And it was I remember it was a Netflix film. I don't know if it's called Claus, and it just has its own spelling, but it was pretty cool. It's
Oh,
like
that animated film. I saw that. That was pretty neat looking. I enjoyed that. That was really fun.
yeah, man. I really enjoyed even like watching like the process behind it, like how the
Mhm.
heck they were able to make it looked like even though it looked 3D, they still made it look 2D within I don't know, beyond my expectations how they're able to do it.
Yeah.
And like just even doing like the handwork, like just where the light is going to hit this model, even though yes, it's a 3D model, like they still hand painted and drawn like
Yeah.
traditionally, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff you can do mixing the two. I think it's hard to do it well, and so we get a lot of lazy things that come out that just sort of like stick them together. But there's been some Japanese films that have done it really well. Katsuhiro Otomo has done some shorts that I think all do a really good job of utilizing the best of both technologies. He did a couple of things like Short Piece and what's the other one called? Memories. Those are really great examples of sort of, how to mix the two and take advantage of them, like having CG models of things, but then hand-drawn characters and or CG backgrounds, so you can have the characters kind of go through, these very interesting and intricate environments. Some of that stuff is really neat.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. My first love of art was always animation, and I've always wanted to study animation and like see how it goes. Like I always had this fascination of like wanting to know how the cook made the food, and just a mere fact, there's even like like they don't have it anymore down in Orlando, but they used to have this thing where in I think it's like Hollywood. It used to be called Hollywood Studios. It's now something else. But they always had this exhibition where you get to walk around in in Hollywood Studios, and this is like actually where all the animators work. Like people that worked in Disney and all that stuff. You get to see how they cook and like how their offices look, and you get to see them how the heck. Like what projects they're working on. Yeah, exactly. Like they used to have that. Like now now that space has been taken over for Star Wars. But but I know they do have it in LA. Like they'll have like people, they'll have an actual animator that works in Disney. They will just sit down and they will, break down like, okay, we're gonna start drawing the circle, and then we're gonna draw 2 more circles and.
Yeah.
Long story short, you drawn Pocahontas or you drawn freaking, Al the alligator or whatnot, Like it was just so much fun. I honestly missed that exhibition, but yeah, dude, I just really like how the breakdown, how the cooks made, the final product. And animation was my first love before any other medium. And I think like with comic books, it's like they're like animation and comic books, it's like I won't say they're the same thing, but they're cousins to each other since everything starts with storyboarding.
Yeah, there's a similarity in traditional animation and comics in that you're sort of able to, since you're drawing everything by hand, you get a closer sort of a closer relationship directly with the artists, but then also everything has the opportunity to be stylized in a way that can enhance your story and your themes. And that's something I really love about comics and animation, is that everything down to just even the way you draw like a cup or something can be, something that adds another layer to the work. Whereas, not that you can't do that a little bit in live action, but the difference is that, you're more likely going to see them just shoot on a set that sort of is close to what they want, not something that's totally completely made up out of someone's mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree, dude. I don't want to take up too much of your time, because
I can stick on here for another maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then I have an appointment with my wife in the other room. So
okay, gotcha.
But this is looking cool. Are you enjoying the colors here? It's a little messy. I'm sure it's kind of hard.
Yeah, no. I'm just figuring out how it goes, but yeah, dude, I'm still gonna continue on coloring this how we did last time, and then just see how I would interpret it. I mean, I got the reference here, so I know exactly who or what I should color. But other than that, I'm still gonna do my own take on it.
Yeah,
and just have fun with it.
Well, I mean, that's what's fun too, is that there's different ways to do it. You can take line art and 2 different colorists will do something completely different with it. I've had a lot of really good luck with working with some really amazing colorists, and working with Mike on this has been just a dream come true. He's one of my favorite colorists, and every time he turns in pages, I'm just like, oh man, this is so cool. And it just reinvigorates me and makes me want to work harder and do better work, and really excited every time. And I can't wait for people to see what the stuff he's doing in even the next couple issues, and then on to issue 5 and 6. I mean, it's really amazing stuff. So
I know, dude. When you told me that Mike Spicer is connected to that project, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. It's gonna make your work so great. Because I mean, Mike has always been. I've seen Mike's work with Daniel Warren Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's always great. It's like they were just a great tag team together, and just
Yeah,
the mere fact like he's working on your artwork, I'm like, my gosh, man, it's gonna be fantastic.
well, there's something I think. So I talked to a lot of comic book artists, and there's something I think that I've heard a lot of them say about colorists in general, but about Mike's work. And I think why a lot of artists like him is that he lets the line work do a lot before he
Hmm.
tries to kind of inject his own sort of style of rendering or whatever onto it.
Yeah.
And he finds all these great ways to enhance things with color and value, and really lets the line art, what he does sort of enhances the line art. Whereas
Hmm.
I think a bad colorist kind of paints over the line art and sort of makes it their own painting on top of line art. I think Mike is really good about saying, okay, here's what works in the line art and here's what doesn't work, and how can I enhance the good parts and sort of save the parts that need a little bit of help. And there's so many times where I won't have something completely exactly perfect the way I want it, but then I'll give it to Mike knowing, okay, Mike will be able to sort of make this, he'll be able to make this work since I didn't figure it out. He'll find a way to make it sing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, dude. It's true. Like with colorists, like it really depends on who you work with, and even if you like a certain colorist, they might not hit the ball. And the reason why I would say that was there was a podcast that Sean Gordon Murphy. There was this one like he was talking about colors and how much colors hate him so much because like they can't do their thing, like it's just literally like with Sean, you just use flat colors and that's it. They can't do their pizzazz, like they'll use a
Mm-hmm.
certain brush to make it more gritty or whatnot. With
Right.
Sean, it's like it's very tight. Like you can't do anything. Like you just put flat colors and maybe if he just doesn't go too tight, then he'll let you do your thing. But most of his work is just super tight and people can't do their thing. And there'll be this one there was even one colorist in particular that he liked that he hired him onto his project, but he just didn't hit the mark, and it was just disappointing because it's just it's kind of like in a way you were just so excited that maybe this one could get it, like maybe they understand, but they can't because maybe it's just your art style or maybe like they just can't do their thing because
Well, if I've learned anything in the few years I've been doing this, it's that it's not always a case of a colorist or an artist being good or bad. Sometimes it's just about gelling with somebody, and that sometimes it's just hard. It just takes time to find it. It's just hard to find it. Like
Mhm.
a good colorist can still look bad on an artist if the artist and the colorist don't gel. And a great colorist can't necessarily save an artist that just sucks at storytelling. So
Right.
it's like when you find something that works, you tend to see a lot of people work with the same people because okay, we understand each other. Like if I was going to do another project and I could work with Mike and he was available, he would be a good choice for me because I feel like now we have sort of an understanding. Like I know what I'm going to get from Mike, and he sort of has a way that it seems like he has a way that he's figured out how he likes to color my work, and so it takes sort of the guessing out of it.
Hmm. Yeah, no, definitely, dude. I surprisingly enough, I wish that Mike would do more content, but again, it could just be time and his scheduling. But I've
Yeah,
noticed
he's
when I
pretty
noticed
busy, but
his,
yeah, he doesn't take on as many as some of these other guys that have a whole studio working for them.
yeah, definitely, man.
But I didn't mean to cut you off, dude. Please continue.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, dude. It's okay. No, because I'm good at watching like time lapse videos and stuff like that. Like I won't go to the extreme how other people would do it. Mostly it's just animators. Because what would
Mm-hmm.
they do? They would download the video from the time lapse and then or an animation, certain animation, and what they do, they would slow down the frame rate so they could actually see in real time what was the thought process when they were doing it.
Right.
But at least with me, like I could just see at least like a time lapse of it, and I have a good idea, like, oh, this is what they're doing. And I've noticed with Mike and his work, like I could tell from his background, like he's done traditional painting because he starts coloring dark and then slowly goes to lighter colors.
Okay. That's interesting. I need to watch one of his streams. I've never actually seen his videos. I've never seen him color. I would be curious to see that.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, it's like traditional mindset. With me, like I'm very different. I mean, I'm starting to experiment like dark to light. But with me, like since I'm more like I like using lighter colors because I know like I could just play around with the color wheel. And I've taken Michael Kurt Russell's coloring.
He's great.
Yeah, no, I love his work, man, and just how his videos and his breakdown, and he just has a way of teaching you that's so simple, and he could just hold your hand and you just understand exactly like what he's telling you in the simplest way he can do it. And like even the videos that he pumps out on YouTube, like honestly, it just doesn't give enough justice of how he breaks things down when you pay for his classes. And I'm not saying it as a sponsorship, but just him as someone like myself who went to school, traditional school, to do graphic design, and just him just breaking it down, and just for me to understand it so quickly, and I got to jump so early onto the game without even finishing his courses. I got to do, I got to get coloring gigs.
Yeah, he's great. I've definitely referenced his channel a lot for when I color my own stuff to kind of figure out different ways to do things. And I feel like he was a launch board for a lot of different comic book colorists as far as like a spot you could go and get reliably good advice on coloring and really ask all the questions you have. I recommend anybody check out his stuff. I know his channel's a little different now, but he still has a lot of his tutorials up, and I recommend anybody pick up anything by him. He's a fantastic colorist.
Yeah, man.
I think he's doing something right now. Is he doing? I think he's doing that Tim Seeley thing that's coming out, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, okay.
It's I think they're doing a what is it? A Deathstalker comic or something on Kickstarter maybe.
Oh, okay.
So
awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out, man. I mean, honestly, I recommend, like, I just feel like I recommend that you just purchase his courses. And I know with Gumroad, like, there's just so many like discounts and everything going on with Gumroad. So that's how I got his stuff, was through Gumroad. I mean, it could be cheaper too if you just signed up to his newsletter, and he'll give you some deals as well.
Yeah.
So, either way, how I got his courses was through Gumroad. And I mean, just how he breaks things down is just great. Even when I should finish his courses, but the mere fact of how much I've caught on to his teachings and all this stuff, it's just, I just want to jump and just get my hands dirty.
Right. Yeah, there's not, there are some options for taking classes in comics now in the real world, but for so long it was hard to get real information on how to professionally do some of this stuff. So when he came along, I think a lot of people were so hungry for that kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see where you're at here. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's looking good, man.
Thank you, man. All right, once I do the fun part, which is like highlights and shadows. I mean, I don't think there's much shadows to put, but definitely like doing some highlights and giving some reflective lights on these guys is going to be so much fun.
This is very much a high contrast piece, and so it plays well with gradients and with like bright spots. So yeah. Well, this is great, dude. Well, I got to run, but this has
Yeah,
been a
definitely.
pleasure. It's always fun to be on the show. I really appreciate all your support on the Schlub, and it's really great to see all your takes. I love to see your colors on everything. It's always really fun to see. So, I'll be later tonight when I duck out of this next thing I'm doing. I will have to check out the final results, or at least how far you get with it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you.
But yeah, maybe we'll have to come on again sometime. There'll obviously be more Schlub coming. It's issue 3 will be out this next month, so stay tuned.
Dude. Yeah, man. And it's ongoing, or is it a mini series? I think I didn't even ask you that question.
We're not 100% saying yet, so I'll just say stay tuned. But there's a lot more. Like I said, I'm almost finished with issue 6 right now, so there's definitely 6 issues.
Fantastic.
I'll say that much.
Okay, I'm excited, man.
But yeah, man, have a great night, and I will look forward to seeing the finished colors on this.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. Just to let everybody know that are still watching, you can even catch Tyrell with his art stream tomorrow night at like what, 8
Usually it's about 8:30ish that I get on there. So if people want to jump on tomorrow, I will probably be inking something, and I might do sort of a director's commentary on issue 2.
Ooh.
So read your issue 2s and show up tomorrow, and we can kind of maybe walk through the issue and take a look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I'm reading issue 2. I was trying to finish reading before I interview you on this show, but I just can't wait to read it, man. It's cool, great. Man. It's great so far.
Awesome. All right, dude. Well, thanks again for having me on. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. You too. Perfect. All right, guys. So now that Tyrell's gone, I get to focus on you guys now. Let me see. Who's on the chat right now? So I'm sorry that I neglected you guys. We got Dale A. What's up, Total Excellence? What's up, Dale? Thanks for coming by the stream. We got Chris here. Looks good. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Right now, I'm just putting flat colors, okay? Putting in some flat colors. I'm just trying to figure out what to do next in this piece here because we got purples. I love the purple that I'm using now just to play around with it. Let's see here. I kind of want to make sure that I'm giving Tyrell some justice because I love Tyrell's work. His work is always great. Trying to make sure what's what. Let's see. Still want to do my own thing. Take liberties. I do want to give his, like these dudes, for instance, like their teeth. Just want to give like more details. I don't think, yeah, he gives some details on the teeth. Yeah, I just want to give some creative liberties, I should say. Lack of a better word. There we go. Of course, I got my cup of, well, there was a cup of water next to me. Now there's just little bits of it. But yeah, dudes. This bad boy here got some teeth. See here. You know what? I kind of want to play around with the fact that this dude is already like pretty much like red and kind of like red and all this stuff. But I think in issue 2, it actually tells me exactly like the colors and the color scheme and all this stuff. So maybe that's why it's like very like cooler colors, purple, blue, and all that stuff. Let me actually look into the Schlub as my point of reference. Let's see. There we go. Oh, it makes so much sense now how he interprets it. Okay. So if anything, I like how he uses like this magenta color. It's just a perfect blend of the magenta. So let's figure this out. Hmm. Mm-hmm. See. Okay. Then. Oh, you know what? I use the color wheel as my cheat code. So that way, got like a good idea, like what to do in this scenario. Okay. So I'm just looking at the analog here. What I'm kind of gonna do is cut this bad boy here. Yeah. And pretty much take liberties here. wrong color. There we go. Ooh. You know what? I honestly don't know why I was thinking of coloring like this. Or you know, guys, I think I had an epiphany. Let's try triad. Okay, I like those colors. Complementary. Okay. Oh, even the complementary, it really complements this dude's skin. So it's perfect. Even split complementary, like, it's just perfect. The color I chose. So if anything, I'm going to use this navy blue. It makes it even so much better than it already is, you know. But I really dig this blue. I think this really is going to help make it pop. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, this is perfect. Well, not that part. The whole splooge, that was not. I totally planned it. You know what? I'm going to say I totally planned it. But you know what? I'm going to stick with this color. That's going to be my go-to color for the entire piece here. Yeah, this. I really like this color. I'm definitely going to hop onto this one. Because honestly, it just complements WYRM's look. So complements his skin and everything. So we're going to do that. This dude here. What color are his eyes? I believe his eyes are orange as well. So let's do that. Let's give him orange eyes. And if this dude has orange eyes, I think all of his monsters should have orange eyes as well. Just to keep it consistent, you know? I'm in the zone, guys. I literally see it. I'm seeing it. And I believe it's gonna look fantastic. I just know it. Turn out the inks that way. Good idea. So that way. Okay, and then I'm gonna play with his eyelids. Oh hell yeah, this looks absolutely sick. Yeah, no, I'm in the zone. Come on. Getting random pop-ups. So Microsoft Store, go away. I don't need you. This. I'll be right back, dudes. Hold for one moment. All right, dudes, I am back and ready to rock and roll for this piece. All right, let's take a look where we are so far. So now that I got a good idea of the colors and what to do next for this piece, I'm just so excited. This is going to look so great, guys. I already see it. Already see it as a great piece. Go. Boom. Then we're going to give this dude his mouth. Just give more personality to it. Oh, this looks so sick. So excited. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I am honestly was nervous working on this piece because I know there's just so much to dig onto this piece. You know, I took on the challenge and I'm going to freaking finish this piece, man. And, you know, hopefully that Tyrell is impressed by it. So right now, I literally can see the tunnel. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. Gotta make these weapons really stand out. Oh, hell yeah, dude. This. Oh my gosh, dudes. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, okay. I still got that blue on my. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, dudes. Oh man, I'm so excited. Oopsie daisies. Oh my gosh, dudes. This is so sick. Holy crap, man. I just realized this dude got another eye. Okay. Turn off this bad boy real quick. Oh my gosh, dudes. Oh, this is so great. I have no idea, guys, how excited I am right now. Oh. I gotta finish this suit of armor, dude. And it's just so great too. It's like it's just a silhouette. Oh my gosh, dude. Heck yes. So if anything, just do this. Turn this off. Do that better. Then perfect. At least I have a good idea. No, and anything. It's some music while we're at it. Just to keep me in the mood. Let's see. Cool. Awesome. Hmm. No, I just noticed it's kind of like CSI Miami type of color scheme. That I honestly have not. I just unintentionally I just did it. But it's all good. Oh geez, merged it by accident. Oh, just snapped my neck, and I honestly needed that. All right. There we go. Kind of gotta get this dude's teeth. Oh no. There we go. That's what I needed. Now, color this dude's teeth. Now that I got a good idea what this dude's color scheme is. Perfect. Okay, now. Oh, I know what to do. Alright. So now that the surface is breaking, kind of want to play around with the lighting on how this is going to glow up. Get it? Glow up. So we'll use red, right? And I think what we'll do is use linear light. That way. Just going to help make this piece so much better than it already is. Linear light here. Let me try screen. What will screen do for me? Because what I'm going to do, it just enhances the, it just enhances it. It doesn't. Yeah, no, it's, if I want to do that, like, this is going to be a fun challenge. If anything, I might use purple. Yeah, then I got to use purple. But I kind of don't want to. So, if anything, I'll use a complementary color, since it's literally the opposite side of the color wheel of the primary color that I'm using for the ground. So it's showing green, and I don't want to use green because my character here is green. Worst case scenario, he's going to blend. So let's look at split complementary. How about double split? It's no good either. So if I do it like that, alright, I'm gonna play some puzzles here. How are the analogs? So I see what I can do here because it's using orange in the analog. This orange is pretty much I got this nice bright orange that's gonna be great for this piece. Always love having little challenges like this. Because you think you know, but really you don't. Type of situations. Kind of want to see how. Okay, I can see what he did in this piece. So there's little cracks here and there. So I'm learning a lot what he's doing. Hold on for one moment, dudes. What was WYRM and why is he a Schlub? That is a good question. So WYRM is basically the villain of this story so far. And Schlub is pretty much Roger. And Roger, he basically traded bodies with a superhero called Cyrus. He's basically like a Superman archetype. And pretty much like swap bodies. And so far with what's going on with this story, is that, you know, now they're gonna try to figure out like how the heck is Cyrus, the superhero, gonna get his body back. Now it's been taken over from this dude named Roger, who's totally irresponsible. it's very fun comedy, comic book, action and adventure. It's like you can never go wrong with those two combos. God. Use the wrong color layer. Oops. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. See. Then gotta get all these colors. Gotta reflat them because didn't do exactly according to plan. See? Whoops. Right now, I'm just thinking what to do next. Because now that this is out, I Gotta like give some reflection over to like how the lights are affecting him. Basically affecting all his surroundings. Stuff like that. That's important. Oh. Hmm. Okay, so Oh, jeez. Why do you do that? This is getting frustrating. It's my stupid... I don't know why is it whenever I color, I just gotta start all over again, man. It's frustrating. It's like I already did all the heavy lifting. It's like now it's just Clip is forcing me to recolor what I've already did a millionth time already. So I'm getting a little frustrated. It's like I already did all the grunt work. So I don't know why you're making me do it all over again. Oh shoot. Just really nice. Oh, come on. What the heck? Oh, I see. I see. Says the blind man. Alright. Let's color up this one. That one. Go. Okay. Put spotlight brush. Okay. Oh my gosh, why do I keep missing these? Let me see. can fix that. Cool. Okay, and then what I kind of want to do is fix this. And then get that fixed. It's always little things like that. Kind of. Okay, perfect. Okay, now. Oh my god. Come on, dude. There you go. Oh my gosh. A-hole. Oh my gosh. Why, Clip? Why? Alright. Take it up a notch, guys. I kind of want to get this piece done ASAP. Well, I still have the energy and patience. What the heck, Clip? Why do you do this to me? Oh my god, I just colored this. I swear, I am like I'm gonna go nuts. Gosh dang it, bro. I don't know why Clip is being a pain with me right now. And I don't know what the F, bro. What the flip? Oh my god. I just colored this finger like 4 freaking times already. I don't know why it's doing that. It's because of the spotlight? Oh, thank god. I got scared, bro. I was like, bro, I've already flattened this, colored this like the umpteenth time. And flats. Flipping it. Oh, I hate my headphones are getting snagged. Let me move my thing. Because I already know exactly what's making me snagged. Oh, come on, dude. Why are you giving me pop-ups? What the heck is that? Okay, come on. You got this, Ichthus. You got this. Okay, this is something that's... Now I'm starting to get hungry. And when I get hungry, I become a whole new other beast. I am not even joking. I think that's why I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm starting to get hungry. And I just want to get the... Oh my god. Freaking A. I'm pressing buttons I'm not supposed to press. Oops. We need to color this one. All right. Oh, okay. Now that I got a good idea what the heck to do with this piece. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Mr. Jawbreaker's here. Oh, geez. No, thank you. We got Niobe Comics. Itchy 5 must survive. It's always Niobe's catchphrase whenever he sees me on the chat. Dele, hangry. Yeah, no, I am. I am definitely hangry, but not anymore since I'm seeing promise from my progress so far. So I'm not too hangry no more. I kind of want to give these dudes their eyes to glow. Just to give more personality to, like, what the heck is going on with this? Uh-oh. Brush just swapped on me. Then let's see here. I think we're pretty much done, dudes. Yeah, this looks I'm pretty satisfied how this looks, guys. So, yeah, dudes, I think we are good to go. Let me actually turn this off really quick. I'm trying to find the brightest one. There we go. And what I'm going to do next is overlay it to this dude here. All right, dudes. Let me switch the cameras around. You're good to go, guys. Thank you, dudes, so much for watching the stream. Pat down this hair. You guys ooze of excellence as always. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Remember, stay excellent. Until next time, guys.